Hey everybody, welcome to Electric Cafe. My name is Tim Humphrey. Today we are reviewing or going over a discography of Cocteau Twins. So Cocteau Twins started in roughly like 82, 81 on 4AD Records, which 4AD is an amazing label if you don't know it. Obviously they're known for probably Cocteau Twins and Dead Can Dance are probably their biggest acts, but they also had this Mortal Coil and Color Box and some other really strong bands as well. I'm blanking on probably a big one that I'm gonna be kicking myself later on that I didn't mention, but Cocteau Twins and Dead Can Dance are probably the two biggest ones. Um, is Kristen Cozy on 4AD? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's 4AD. But but yeah, I just wanted to go over them. So obviously Elizabeth Fraser is, if you know her, if you don't know her, she has one of the most unique voices that's ever been in pop music. She if I can't remember what they call how she sings, but she doesn't necessarily, probably 95% of the time she doesn't say words when she sings. She just kind of like sings and it sounds like certain things, but there's really no words. Like she sort of makes up her, I wouldn't say her own language, but just like you would say la 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 la, or fa la la la, or or hum, like a melody. She sort of does that with like what could be lyrics, but they're that sound possibly like another language you've never heard of, but they aren't necessarily. They're not necessarily our word. They're not our words, not our words. They're our words. So if you know, you know, but if you don't, I just can't remember what it's called. But there's a type of singing where you sing, but you don't necessarily sing actual words. But she's just an amazing voice. But you're talking about like the perfect balance. So her what ends up becoming her boyfriend, and I guess they even got married. The guitar player, and I'm blanking on his name right now, but and then I think there was a third member. I always kind of missed the third member. If there's a third member, maybe there wasn't for a little bit, but most of the time I think there was two. But I thought there was a third member in there, and maybe the first two albums or anything like that. Is it Simon Raymond? Is his name Simon Raymond? I don't know why that name's coming in my brain. But but yeah, so they were dating and making amazing music. And the really important thing about not only her voice was really unique, but the recording process and the way they sounded was unique. They kind of took the post punk sound of like Joy Division and took it to kind of an ethereal, obviously and it just matched her voice. A lot of effects, a lot of guitar pedals, a lot of guitar pedal effects, a lot of haziness, a lot of shimmering sounds, and there's probably one of the most amazing bands, of the last 40 years. If you said, Tim, what are your favorite 30 bands of all time? Cocteau Twins probably wouldn't be in there. I mean, it'd be close, but I can still say that and say they're probably one of the top five most amazing bands of all time in terms of their legacy and their sound and their influence is still being understood. That's how advanced their sound was. I kind of think of like Joy Division as another one like that. That's kind of how many people want to sound like Joy Division out there? How many bands sound like Joy Division out there? No, especially in the dark wave and the cold wave sound. There's a genre named after, basically cold wave is Joy Division. If you think about it, like that's how much they inspired people to almost make a full their own genre. Cocteau Twins almost did that. There's like a dream pop, shoegaze. Like they almost single handedly started those genres, or they're named probably one of the first two or three names when you say dream pop or shoegaze, you're going to mention Cocteau Twins. And Cocteau Twin isn't necessarily the definitive ideal you would give of shoegaze. I think a lot of people would say Ride or My Bloody Valentine or something like that, but those were all way after Cocteau Twins. Um, and Dream Pop, it could be they came out before even Dream Pop, was a coin, and even the bands that were you would consider Dream Pop, I don't consider the Cure Dream Pop. There could be some songs that are Dream Pop, but as a full on a band, I don't consider the Cure Dream Pop. They do have some Dream Pop songs in there, but the Cure is so original. I can't label something after them. And that's saying a lot, but that's how important they are. But when you think of Cocteau Twins, are they some of their later stuff might be dream pop, I suppose, but to me they aren't considered dream pop as well either. I mean they're so unique they don't fall into one any one category. Just an amazing band. So their early stuff here's Treasure. And this is when they are probably some people have said that they're a little bit inspired by Susie and the Banshees because they're a little bit more aggressive here. I mean this is the end of 1982. It's probably the last. There's still a goth influence out there, not necessarily in here, but 4AD is kind of the artwork and stuff like that is kind of in the darker realm, and they were younger and they were probably a little bit more rebellious and in their own way. And there's some, almost punk sounds on here, like some Susie and the Banshees sort of post-punk stuff. There's a little bit in here, but you can see the talent is just overflowing here. I mean, it's just safe to say though. Me as a fan of Cocteau Twins, I don't play Treasure that much, and I don't play Garlands that much. It's more about their middle to end stuff for me, whether it got a little bit warmer. This was a little cold for me, but I don't necessarily. Obviously, the second track, L'Oreal, is really strong. There isn't even when you go to like Milk and Kisses, which is their last album. There's really no songs I dislike on there. It's just ones. It's either they're great or they're okay. Like, and that's how. There's no like, yeah, this one's just it's pretty good. Like they're all, all right or great. There's no like very good in there. Let's say there's less very good in there. I wouldn't say there's none, but like for me, I could listen to certain songs, a lot of songs by Cocteau Twins 100 times over in a row, but there's some that I wouldn't necessarily play twice. That's kind of the difference. I mean, but again, as an album, I play it through more than playing one song. This would be a good example. I would play the whole album in a row, but I wouldn't necessarily stop at any song like I do with the other ones. Yeah, but good album. I'd probably rate this like an 80 out of 100, 78 out of 100. Right in there on the upper scale of the 7s to 8s. Garland probably in there as well. Here, Wax and Wane's obviously one of their big ones. The Hollow Men, Blind, Dumb, Deaf. But they're still not getting to their albums that are coming up when like almost every song is just amazing. And there's some good ones in here again. This definitely has the 4AD aesthetic. A lot of when it comes to the artwork, a lot of grays and a lot of kind of, I wouldn't say gothic, but maybe it's old Victorian or something like that. It's kind of, maybe I say that because the next album's called Victoria Land and it kind of reminds me of like the font kind of reminds me of that, but it's very, very, very kind of, I'm not gonna say medieval because it doesn't. It's not medieval. It's sort of like 1800s. kind of got that feel. The fonts and the way it's set up. Even the logo 4AD kind of has that kind of feel for me. And then we started getting into the better stuff for me, Victoria Land. Um, Man, so many good ones on here. So many good ones on here. I have to put this one probably in the eights on this one. Lazy Calm, April and May, Little Spacey, Blush to the Snow, the Thinner the Air. They're just on a roll on all these, and it's every year. I mean, 83, 84, well, since 86. They come back. I think this was 87 or 88, but Bluebell No, obviously. Um, this one is, you gotta be careful on this one. Don't listen to this one when you're depressed. I did that one time, and it was very depressing. And I say that with a grain of salt because I know I was depressed, but man, listening to Cocteau Twins when you're depressed, it's not a good thing. You can get very depressed. It's very lonely music. It can kind of take you down there. It'll take you down. It'll make you, as much as when she sings, um, it can lift your spirits and make you feel positive. Probably maybe it even, I wouldn't say her voice would identify more with a female. Maybe a female can even relate to her more the way she sings than maybe I can as a male. But man, she really can pull you into the doldrums when she's down. And obviously it's the mood of the songs as well. But she's very, I mean, a lot of emotion in her songs. She can bring you to tears. She can make you feel happy, and maybe that has a lot to do with their relationship in the band. That's kind of the interesting dichotomy about them, is that they're writing such up and down songs, and they're in a relationship. And it's kind of interesting because if she did sing lyrics, knowing how she is and how emotional she is and powerful she sings, which if she's saying anything about love or passion or lust or anything like that, that could put strain on their relationship. Maybe in a strange way, that's why she did sing like that. I mean, I doubt it, but imagine if she did sing lyrics and they were married. Because she's so heart wrenching when she sings. It's just, I can't imagine and that's the kind of thing. It's like words fail her for her voice. That if there's anything that you can say where that's how meaningful her voice is, it's just words fail her. Like words would do her voice a disservice. Like she would almost have to learn another language. Like she'd have to sing Norwegian or something like that just for her voice to hit some. Like English is probably not the ideal language for her. Let's put it that way. Um, Such an amazing album. Just for my eyesight, let me go to the album here. Um, actually, I forgot. This record's still sealed. Yeah, still sealed, so I can't see the track list. But man, these. I gotta start bringing my glasses to these videos. But this album is probably in my top three. Um, I wouldn't say it's a depressing album, but then you think of like Heaven in Las Vegas is kind of a happy album, right? Evangeline is kind of I'm sorry, for a Calendar Cafe is kind of a mix of happy songs, but it's generally a little bit more on the happy song side, and maybe that's because of the artwork, and this artwork is kind of a little bit more somber, I'd say, but just the songs on here, there's a couple, obviously Carolyn's Fingers is a big song for them. Um, for Phoebe Still a Baby, Chico Buff, but Itchy Globo Blow, Bluebell Knoll, the title song. I mean, there's a couple. Caroline Fingers, I wouldn't say is an overly happy song, but it's generally has a little bit more positive. But this album can get you down, but it's so beautiful in a way. But it's just I just would suggest, don't, if you don't know this album, you want to check it out, just don't listen to it when you're depressed. Maybe it was just me, but man, this got me so sad when I was going through a breakup at the time. This is like 20 years ago or so. I was going through a difficult breakup, and I was really into Cocteau Twins at that time. I don't know, maybe I was feeling a little sentimental, or sometimes I get on a roll of listening to a band a lot during a week or a month, and I was listening to a lot of Cocteau Twins, and this album got me kind of sad. But yeah, here's the refresh of it. I still haven't opened it. Look at that! I got it for a sealed record for $18.99. This is back in. It was one of the first reissues, probably like, I don't know, 2012 or something, like 2010. But man, how are you gonna get an album sealed for $18.99 now? It's just much more expensive now. And then you have Heaven in Las Vegas. Heaven in Las Vegas. Obviously a great album. It's considered probably one of their best. I think it kind of runs out of steam. The first half is amazing. The second half is okay. Every time I play this album, I kind of get to the fifth or sixth song and I kind of run out of steam. Cherry Colored Funk, obviously, is a great song. Pistol Baby's okay. Um, Ice Ice Blink Luck is a great song. 50/50 Clown is like my lesser known love for this album. I always want to play that song. I can listen to that song so many times. And then it goes right into Heaven in Las Vegas. So those first four or five songs are just, I mean, some of their best songs for me. It's just amazing. But then the second half kind of runs out of steam. I Want Your Rings okay, but the next four songs, they kind of run out of steam a little bit. Run out of steam a little bit for me. But when I think of the album, I still consider it so high because of those four or five songs. It's just those amazing songs. And then you have Four Counter Cafe. So this is the first Cocteau Twins. I was late getting the Cocteau Twins. I first heard Evangeline, and I remember seeing the video, and it's all kind of glittery and a lot of mirrors and shadows and stuff like that. It's really kind of a cool. I remember hearing Evangeline on 120 Minutes on MTV and being like, wow, what is this? There's nothing like I've ever heard before. And I remember recording it onto a cassette, and not sure how I did that. Maybe it was off the radio. I heard it again, but oh man, I just love that song, and I played it so much. And eventually, I got the album. But this is a really good album, but it's up and down. It's up and down. I don't mean up and down as far as quality. Up and down as far as you have Bluebeard and Squeeze Wax, which are two great uplifting songs, and then there are some ones that My True Summerhead. Um, there are some songs that are kind of again, I don't want to say depressing or anything like that, but they just, I mean, they're, when she sings and it's kind of a quieter song, it can be a God, I don't know how to say it. It's a because she doesn't do. I mean, they're ballads, I suppose, and they're not depressing. I don't mean depressing. I was just in a depressed mood, and that just got me lower at the time. They're not depressing songs per se. I don't know. It's hard to say, but they're just deep songs, I guess. I mean, but it's just when you compare them to the ones that are really like Squeeze Wax and Bluebeard, just like no pop music you've ever heard before. Just a really strong album. I really like Purr, the last album, the last song. It's really kind of builds nicely, but just a really good album. This is the first album that I got by them. And then you have here's the vinyl version of it. Um, this is a very expensive vinyl for a long time till it finally got reissued. Um, but yeah, great album. Love the cover too. In fact, I never really noticed it, but there's always like a 45 on there, the little 45 thing. Then the other last CD they put out, this was like 3 years later than this. They didn't tour on this album. There was, they played like one or two shows and we're going to tour possibly. Like they were at an all-time high after having Las Vegas and Fort County Cafe. They ended up breaking up, divorcing, and that really caused a rift where they sort of did this album and it kind of, um, I mean, obviously, their fans didn't know about them breaking out for the most part, I don't think, but they really wanted Cocteau Twins to tour. I mean, I don't think there was ever any really full-on tour they did of America, anyways. But the title song on here, Voltaire, or Violane, is that what it is? I always forget what. That one's really good. The rest of the album is okay. I think there's one other song that I really like, but I'm not the best when it comes to names on this particular. I always forget which song I like, but I know the Valentine one or whatever it is, because that one's the single. But I thought there was a second single, but it didn't really go anywhere. Um, Anyways, it's a good sounding album, well produced. It's a good album. I do like this a little bit more, even more so than Treasure. Just from the recording aspect of it. No bad song on here. Just less highs and less good songs than the previous two, especially three, or especially. Just on a side note, a couple pieces here. This is the album that Robin Guthrie. I'm sorry, yeah, and Simon Raymond. So this is Robin Guthrie, Simon Raymond, Elizabeth Fraser, all with Harold Budd. Harold Budd was an ambient producer um, that sadly passed away, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. He was in his early 80s, but a fantastic ambient producer. I might do a video on him and talk a little bit about his work, but very unknown. I mean, not very unknown, but very well respected, but on the lesser known side of soundtrack music and ambient music and things like that. Um, but an amazing producer, amazing piano player, etc. But this was kind of the Moon and the Melodies, very highly regarded collaboration between Harold Budd and Cocteau Twins. Not a lot of people know about this that are Cocteau Twins, but a lot of people that are big 4AD fans know about this album. And I always forget the name of the song, but there's one song on here that's amazing. Um, but yeah, Moon and the Melodies. A couple other pieces I have. Um, is the Cocteau Twins. It's kind of a greatest hits, stars and top cells, a collection of 82 to 92. So this has a lot of quite a bit from each period. It's a double record, but it has a good mix of popular and less popular ones. On it. Really nice, clean double gatefold. Really nice record. Um, Also, one of the singles I have, Tiny Dynamite, and Echoes in Shallow Bay. This is kind of I mean, and this is where the gold is for fans of Cocteau Twins, the singles, right? And that's when I get to the treasure chest, the elusive, famous, amazing. This made me a fan. Like the albums are good, but the singles made me a fan. Like this is where the gold is right here. The albums are one thing, the singles are on another level. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 CDs in here. There was two versions of it. This is the American. There's an American UK version and there's a Japanese version. Um, this is the UK version, and the only reason why you can tell is that I think there's a faint difference of color on the box and the title, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and so I'm pulling this out. I don't believe this came with a book. If it did, I may have lost it. Um, but oh my god, man! Here's so much amazing music in here. So here's that one that I just showed you, the vinyl of. Sorry, didn't show that very good. And then you got man, I should have brought my glasses for these. Um, IKEA Guinea, Kookaburra. Um, but that single IKEA Guinea, I think there's some songs on some of these singles that I cannot pronounce, but man, this box set um, generally goes for like, I think when it was new it was probably like $80 or something like that. I think I got it probably maybe like 20 years ago, so I probably got it for like 100 bucks or something like that, maybe 80, maybe it was 80. Again, that was the time when the CDs are lower price because people were, you know, not collecting them and people were getting rid of them. But I think this box set right now, it's easily 150 to 300 bucks for copies, depending on what the condition is. Obviously, the artwork on here are really cool too. You can see how this looks like treasure. Um, the Sprinkles Maker or the Spangle Maker, that one's really good. Pearly Dewdrops is on here. If you know, you know. Pearly Dewdrops. I mean, jeez. The singles are amazing. It's just, well, why didn't they put these on the albums? Some of these on the albums. Um, what was it? Something Hiccup. I think this one might be on. Sugary Hiccup. Because of Rural Jack. Oh, man. There's some amazing tracks on here, man. These singles are just, oh, man. These are gold. If you know, peppermint, is it peppermint fig? Peppermint, I always forget what it is. Peppermint fig, I think it is. Amazing song. Amazing song, Peppermint Pig. Here's Lullabies. Lullabies has, actually, this one doesn't have one that I obviously recognize right away. Look at that artwork. Very cool. I love the just plain colors like that. It's so cool. This one has Orange Appled. Man, I promise this will be the last video I wear where I don't wear my glasses. It's hard to see on some of these. This is writing though. It's just, here's a single to Ice Blink Look. Obviously that one was on the album. One of their best, Tiny Dynamite. This is amazing. Tiny Dynamite. I think this has the other, yeah, pink, orange, red. One of their most amazing songs. Can't read the other ones. Amazing. Oh, here's actually the sort of this goes with the box set here. I'm trying to remember. I can't see this one at all. Shit. I can't see that. Yeah, I can't see that. I apologize, but that's all right because I mean this box set. Every album has, I mean, 3 to 4. Every EP has 3 to 4 songs, and they're freaking amazing. You can see it goes with the front there, that front. But just an amazing box set. If you guys don't know, or if you guys do know Cocteau Twins, and you don't have the EPs, you don't have most of their good music. Like the albums are good enough, but this single, I would put this up against all the albums. Like it's super close. That's how good this is. And then we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums versus 10 EPs. It's very close. It's very close. Those EPs are amazing, and I'm telling you, you gotta get them. You gotta get them. I'm not good with Cocteau Twins when it comes to the names of the songs. Like if I heard a song, I'll probably be able to tell you which album it came from. But there's quite a few of them. It's really hard to know what the song title is because there's no words in the song. You're just like, oh, that one's okay. I think that one's from their middle of their period. Okay, yeah, it's probably the middle of their period. Oh, that one's a little warmer. That one's later, newer in the period. Oh, that one's colder. But sometimes it's really hard, especially with the EPs. The EPs are really hard. B-sides and stuff like that, you hear them and you're just like, there's no way I'm going to remember what the name of that song is. But I did rattle off about almost one per that is amazing that you do kind of like, okay, well, I remember that song from, I know it's really good from looking at the song, but if I heard the song and then I have to go to try to remember what the name is, I wouldn't remember it at all. But yeah, that's part of being a fan of music. Sometimes it's just hard to remember all the songs. It's easier when they have lyrics. That's why it's hard. Like with ambient music and stuff like that, or like trying to remember some of the names of ambient songs is really hard. It's super hard because there's no lyrics, but it's even more so because it sounds like other songs on the album, and you don't hear it for a couple years, and then you put it on, and you're like, "There's no way I know which song this is." When you look at the record, but yeah, so that's my video on Cocteau Twins. Amazing album, amazing band, amazing band. Um, Definitely one of the most special bands I've ever found on my own. Nobody told me about go listen to Cocteau Twins here or here's an album or something. I had to kind of find them on my own, but I enjoy that actually. It makes me feel like I discovered something. I like treasure hunting, and so I like finding stuff on my own, and I don't mind if I find it 20 years late, like I did with them. Or 10 years late when I listened to Evangeline when it came out. It was 10 years late on finding the band before it came out. I don't necessarily mind that. I'd like to be there at the beginning. Can't say that about all bands. There's too much music out there, but sometimes it's great to find bands certain times in your life and they become a little bit more special. And I'm glad I got to experience them for the next 10 years instead of maybe the first 10 years and then they disbanded and then that was it. And I was there for all of it, but I didn't get to experience them new for the first time in my later years, where I think, I would appreciate them much more in my 30s and 40s like I did than necessarily in my preteens or into my early 20s. But yeah, so that's Cocteau Twins. Just curious, what's your favorite 3 albums by Cocteau Twins, and what's your favorite 5 songs, if you can write the name down or remember them, or just say song 3 from Heaven Las Vegas, or song 5 from Heaven Las Vegas, which is Heaven Las Vegas. So thanks for watching this video on Cocteau Twins. Have a good rest of your day.